pause that game. It's time for more Nerd Radio.
I don't want to see it,
Welcome back for more Nerd Radio, part of the BPod Studios Network, and on Twitch, Wednesday afternoons around 11:30, twitch.tv/CHZ.
No. It's RobLiefeldFeet.com. ROB.
Well, you can do that
LIEFELDFEET.com. RobLiefeldFeet.com will take you directly to our Twitch stream.
Either one works.
RobLiefeldFeet.com.
It's the preferred way to access the radio.
Right between the toes is where you'll find us.
Right between the toes. Right between the toes. You can find the toes.
If you can find the toes, there are no toes.
Yeah.
There are no toes.
We're like the fungus. We're like the athlete's foot of Rob.
Just a giant wedge.
Right.
Yeah.
So a couple of movies that are out in theaters or are coming out. This is the week that we get to Robert Pattinson's Batman movie, which actually I'll probably go and see next week. I don't know if I've told you guys, but when I go see movies now, I go out to the AMC theaters on Tuesdays. Because they
got like super cheap prices.
They cut the prices on Tuesdays, so I'm like, all right, I'll go see just about anything when it's like half price. And I did that earlier this week. But as you mentioned, James, you got to see an advanced screening.
I did.
We've got P. Broom in the chat saying he's seeing it tonight, so no spoilers.
Good, I'm spoiling the whole movie. Guess what?
All right.
Batman is triumphant in the end.
Oh, who'd have saw that coming?
Hopefully that's not a spoiler. It's a Batman movie.
Right.
But yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It's a little long. Okay. Overall, I think it's a good movie.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I think the story's great. The way they have the Riddler, I think is very cool. It's a cool take on the Riddler.
Interesting.
Which hopefully that's not a spoiler. I think everybody knows Riddler's the main villain.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, that's in there.
I would say it's more similar to like the Gotham show. Not like Batman's not like a little kid.
Yeah.
But there's more dealings with like the underbelly of Gotham City, like the crime lords, Marconi and the guy whose last name starts with an F. I can't think of his name.
Falcone.
Yep. Yeah. So there's more dealings with those guys. And you get to see Batman before he's got all these crazy gadgets. Like you see some of his weapons and some of his vehicles and stuff kind of in the starting stages. Now, it's very dark.
Yeah.
Not like dark like, oh my God, I can't believe they decapitated that guy's head. Dark as in like it's shot like a noir style film.
Right. Like I can't see what's going on.
Yeah, like, hey, Warner Brothers, you got $5 to put a couple more light bulbs in that room so we can see what's happening type darkness. But I think it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
The first 2/3 of the movie, I was like at the edge of my seat. Like,
cool.
Totally engaged. Like, this is awesome. To the point where I wasn't even bothered by Stink Butt. Everybody knows Stink Butt? The guy that's in all the movie screenings. Stink Butt's here, sitting next to my wife. Stinking up the joint.
No.
The guy breathes like he needs a CPAP machine.
Yeah.
In the middle of the movie, he gets up and leaves and smokes. And I'm like, then he comes back and he causes a whole ruckus leaving and coming back.
Right.
And I didn't realize he left to smoke because my wife's complaining later, like, he left to smoke a cigarette. And she's like, he smelled so bad of cigarettes when he came back. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't smell anything because all I could hear was, I'm like, so the last 2/3 of the movie, that's all I heard. So that could also be part of the reason why I didn't care for the last 2/3 of the movie. But it's a little long. That's my biggest complaint. It's a little long. Robert Pattinson is Batman, not my favorite Batman.
Okay.
When he's Batman kicking ass, great. When he's Bruce Wayne, it's like emo Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's like his take on that. And the one thing I do have to give my wife credit for is he's not bulked up. He is not a muscular Batman by any means. He's a scrawny little pale vampire Batman. Like it's like the man. Maybe that's why it's so dark. Maybe he's got something wrong with his skin to where if they have too many lights on him, he's gonna melt or something.
Yeah. Between being a vampire series of movies and then this movie.
It's like, hey man, Robert Pattinson, people don't want to take you serious because all they think of you is Edward from Twilight. Maybe lose the vampire look, bro. Go stand out in the sun for 5 minutes. Let some sunshine down on you and, develop the skin pigments to protect you from that so you don't look like a nuclear Holocaust powder.
Yeah, I will say, if you really think about it, though, Batman's always out there at night fighting crime and he sleeps during the day. He would be pretty pale.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, you would think so.
And they do talk about he's kind of become nocturnal, so to speak. But yeah, so like Commissioner Gordon's not Commissioner Gordon yet. He's still just a
detective.
A detective, on the Gotham Police. And Zoe Kravitz, I thought was great as Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's great. And I thought the story was cool. I thought it was a cool story. The way they have it set up. It's I think it not as good as the Christopher Nolan Batmans, but I would say it's better than like is Bruckheimer the one that did all the real cheeseball ones?
Yeah, the Batman and Robin.
I'd say they're better than that. Like it's like it's an adult version of that, and they show you like the human side of Batman. You know, so you see like, oh my God, because you're always like, how could Batman do this? Or they let you into where you're like, I could be Batman.
I'd read that it's one of the first Batmans that's actually like a decent detective story.
Yeah,
that they actually focus on him being a detective.
Yeah, and it's much more detective noir film than it is like crazy blockbuster superhero.
Right.
You get the superhero action, but it's more of like an old time like noir film. I feel.
Well,
it's not black and white.
Somebody made a stylized text generator online where you can make your own logo.
Nice, you found
Batman.
that.
Yeah.
The people that put the screening together just sent me that before I came up here. I was going to share it on social media,
There
but
you
you
go.
already found it.
We got a
Cool.
little
I'll share the Nerd Radio version then.
There you go.
But yeah, so you can get your name with the Batman logo. But yeah, I think it's worth checking out. If you're expecting like the crazy Marvel Cinematic Universe, crazy, superhero type flick, it's not like that. It's darker and not as like
that one's for you, Al.
Thanks.
LiveFieldFeet.com. And the Batman logo. I saw somebody do Marvel in that logo using that thing, which is kind of funny to see.
A little bit of a troll move.
Yeah, totally. Well, I went to the theater last night, not to see the Batman, but to check out Dave Grohl's new movie, Studio 666.
I'm very interested in this.
So how do I put this? The first half hour or so is painful.
Ooh.
It is the setup for the. I mean, I don't think it's big spoilers that the plot of this movie is that the Foo Fighters move into this house where the last band that was there, the lead singer killed everybody in the band and then himself and never finished this heavy metal song. And then Dave gets possessed by demons and tries to finish the song with the Foo Fighters, and hilarity ensues. The setup of the first half hour is really, really painful to watch. Like the Foo Fighters are not actors.
Like even if you are into campy horror, it's still painful.
Extremely campy. Okay. But once it gets rolling, it's actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
There's some fantastic cameos in there that I don't want to spoil for anybody, in case you do go and see it, because it was neat to see somebody go like, oh my God, that's so-and-so.
We see a Lemmy from Motorhead hologram.
There is some really, funny stuff that happens, and there's some really good gore high spots in the movie. Okay. Like the whoever whether it's the whole band or just Dave Grohl, whoever decided, hey, we're gonna make a horror movie, definitely has a love for like the tropes of horror movies. I can compare it to like Sam Raimi's Evil Dead kind of thing, and that how it's like stupidly funny, but then also leans into that horror stuff near the end of it. They have a reoccurring joke in it where Dave Dave will say, this is what we're gonna do. All right, everybody bring it in. Pearl Jam 10, high five. And then they all high five. And he did it like twice in the movie, and I thought maybe Pearl Jam would show up at the end of the movie, but they did not.
Oh, how funny would it be if he was like, all right, Pearl Jam 10, high five, and then like Eddie Vedder and everybody comes out.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. That would have been funny.
And I'm pretty sure Pat Smear of the Foo Fighters agreed to be in the movie only if he could be the Scream Queen.
Okay.
Because he screams and runs away from everything that's going on. Yeah, and it's perfect. It's funny. Really, really fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm still interested in seeing it then.
It's worth seeing, much like James said about Limp Bizkit. Don't know that it's worth paying for, but it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
And is it only in theaters, or is it like on a streaming?
No, it is literally only in theaters. That's why we went to the theater to see it last night. Because Amy was the one that brought up over the weekend, because we both really like the Foo Fighters. She's like, I'd kind of like to see this. Yeah. I was like, all right, well, it's probably on Amazon or something. We'll just rent it, like I did Willy's Wonderland, the Nicolas Cage movie with the animatronics. And no, you got to have to go to the movie theater to see it.
Wow.
I know that Meltdown went and saw it over the weekend and said he was one of 2 people in the whole theater. When we went and saw it last night, it was me and Amy and then another couple, and that was the whole theater.
That sucks, man. That sucks.
So they're definitely not making anything on this movie.
Here's a plug for our website. That actually inspired a website post that was 7 banned movies that flopped.
Oh, yeah.
And they had Dave Grohl's picture on that featured image. So that's up at WRIF.com if you want to go check it out. It's funny because I plugged that on the air and I was like, it's only been out for a week and I know the numbers weren't good, but it's a little too early to call it a flop. But apparently from those 2 accounts that you just shared, yours and Meltdowns, I think it's gonna be. You can stick the fork in it.
I think it's probably gonna be like a cult classic where like once people can just watch it, they'll be like, oh, this is hilarious. Why did this movie flop in the theater?
No one's just gonna go out and buy a ticket to it.
My thing is I love Foo Fighters. I really like Dave Grohl. I listened to his audiobook.
Amy did too. She said it was great.
And it was great. An audiobook was the way to go because Dave voices it, and it's just it really feels like you're sitting in a room with Dave Grohl listening to him tell stories. So I thought it was great. If you're a fan of Dave Grohl, get his audiobook. And so the movie I was very curious about. My thing is, because I'm not really much of a horror movie fan, I'm a bit of a puss.
Sure.
I refuse to see a horror movie in theaters. Even if it's a fun, light horror, I won't do it. I will not do it. So I still have plans to see it eventually when I can watch it at home.
Sure.
With the lights on.
There's a couple of jump scares in there, but nothing super.
Yeah, I'm sure. And you know what? And I know it's a horror comedy.
Yeah, it never takes itself too seriously.
Yeah, like I feel like it's not so much of a horror movie. It was a movie made by people who are a fan of horror movies. Does that feel accurate?
That's what, like, even if it is a flop, I have to believe that while they were making it, they didn't think, man, we're making something great.
Right.
People are going to flood the theaters. They're like, no, man, like, I'm at this point in my career, I've got all this FU money, and I like horror movies. So Rob Zombie gets to make horror movies. So why don't I get to make one?
So I am curious to see it. I'm just going to wait until I can watch it at home. And I don't even mind paying an on-demand fee for it.
Yeah.
But
James knows, because he's been to a horror movie with me, that I will laugh like a maniac.
Oh, yeah, it's like going to a stand-up comedy
when
show.
bad things happen.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie gave me permission to be that maniac.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
this would make sense to me if I were to see this movie with you and you're laughing hysterically. Like, okay, that makes sense.
Because there was absolutely a gory high spot that I was cackling during.
Okay. Yeah, this is the problem.
You were supposed to.
Yeah. Well, this is the problem, though. Is this is a horror comedy movie, and Chuck laughed at only the blood and none of the jokes.
None of the jokes.
Well, it's
much like this podcast.
Yeah. Only the blood, none of the jokes.
Laugh at the blood, none of the jokes.
The blood's all ever pain about having to live life.
Also, did you guys see that Boba Fett, the guy who plays Boba Fett, Tamira Morrison, actually posted a training video online because he saw a bunch of people calling him Boba Fett?
Oh
man.
No.
And he was like, all right, bastards, I'm going to go get a personal trainer and I'm going to show you.
Well, good. I'm glad he's getting himself in shape, I guess.
Right.
Can I tell you, as a small child, I was very confused why a character was called Boba Fett. I didn't realize it was Boba Fett when I was a young
You thought it was actually Boba Fett?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but see, he's working out. He's doing all right. Looks like he's working out with Jason Momoa.
Another book of Boba Fett coming up.
Oh man, that would be cool.
Like, why are you worried about getting in shape now? You should have been in shape when you put on the Boba Fett armor, man.
Yeah, but then
the
they'd have to make.
Dude's been stuck in a Sarlacc pit for how long? He didn't have any dumbbells available.
You can't
to
do
him.
squats in a Sarlacc pit.
Is the Sarlacc pit pumping him full of fat?
It's all Twinkie filling down there.
Oh,
that's how it keeps you
damn,
alive for so many
up.
years.
I'm jumping head first in the Sarlacc pit then next time. Man, it looks like a toothy butthole, but I guess it was full of Twinkie filling.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to body shame anybody, but I mean, there was moments in time where I'm like,
how much stuff is down there digesting slowly over 1,000 years he could have been eaten?
Right. Also, I saw this come up. Henry Cavill took a bunch of selfies with some people at a Games Workshop UK store. He went to buy some Warhammer stuff. Have you guys seen the clip where he was on, what's that, the British talk show that's on the BBC?
Oh, Graham Norton.
Yeah, where he's on Graham Norton, and Graham Norton was giving him a bunch of hell about being into Warhammer, and he was like, no, Warhammer's pretty awesome, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I think he called it the wrong name, too, didn't he? He had to correct them. He's like, well, Warhammer is what it's called or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, basically, I believe the punchline was something about, like, it's a nerdy thing, but now I'm Superman, so it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that.
But yeah, he went to a Games Workshop and bought a bunch of stuff, and people were like, holy crap, you're Henry Cavill. And he's like, yes, I am. You want to take a selfie? Championing for nerds. Henry Cavill and...
By the way, that's how I end up in selfies with fans. I walk up to people and say, my name is Hal Beck. Would you like to take a selfie?
I think it's funny because usually I think you tell me you get mace before you even say it. Yeah. Your last name.
My name's Al. Oh, jeez. Who's this person?
Then the cops come and beat him.
Yep.
Tase this pervert.
And all I was trying to do was order some goddamn McDonald's in the drive-thru.
They tase you in the McDonald's drive-thru. Jeez. You know you're doing something wrong then.
Sir, stay in your car. Stay in your car, sir. There's no need to approach the window for a selfie.
I'm having the worst time because when the weather turned cold, my driver's side window decided that it doesn't want to go down all the way.
Oh, no.
Like it goes down about maybe 6 inches or so. So I can't go through drive-thrus anymore because I have I have to pull up and then open the door.
That's
and then
dude.
and then they feel weird. They're like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
Well, you just open the door, crack, like, my window's broke.
My window's broke.
And then just open it up.
I had
like real weird.
I cracked the window and then was talking through it, and I had the girl at the Burger King be like,
just slide the burger through the window crack.
I was trying to order, and she's like, I can't hear you.
Oh, come on.
So I yelled. So I was like, I would like a Whopper. You don't gotta yell at me. What do you want?
Make up your mind, lady.
What do you want me to do?
And that's when I just peeled out. I'm like, they're gonna spit on my stuff.
I don't understand what you want. I just want a hamburger.
Spit on my stuff.
All right. Well, speaking of eating,
Oh, God.
Oh, I know what this is.
I got what is
Potential Ecto
supposed
Cooler,
to be the same flavor that Ecto Cooler was when we were kids, according to a Facebook post.
Okay.
It's the Juicy Juice Orange Tangerine. And we're going to try it out as we wrap up Nerd Radio next. So stay tuned.
Is this going to be a blind taste
to
test?
listen.
Like we have to tell the difference between the real thing and
No, I
the
don't
fake?
actually have any Ecto Cooler.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just joking.
Which one of them's Ecto Cooler, the other one's Dad Milk or whatever
Yeah.
we said last.
Oh, no!
I hope I get the dad milk.
No! Yikes. All right, food radio instead of nerd radio when we come back.